Do you believe in God? If so, why? Why do you believe in God? Now, there are two massive questions. We could go on forever, couldn't we? Personally, I definitely do, always have. Others don't. That's the way it goes. But this is just a brief one, really, about belief. And I remember, well, the first one is kind of a kind of sort of slightly, I suppose, inspirational way of looking at things philosophically that I heard from an elderly gentleman years ago, maybe long gone now, an elderly gentleman I knew at church when I was in my teens. And I remember asking him, because I was a very deep thinker, even at, 15, I think I was 16. And I said to this elderly gentleman who was, very jovial, down to earth, I said, why do you believe in God? Why? And he said, well, you've got to believe in something, haven't you? And I thought, I haven't really thought about it in recent years, but this memory of this gentleman came back to me because a mutual friend mentioned this gentleman that was at church back in the day, a gentleman called Eric. So we're going back to the mid-90s now. And I've just been thinking about this the last few days. What a great answer. Why do you believe in God? Why do you believe? Well, you've got to believe in something, haven't you? And food for thought. What a great answer. You've got to believe in something. Some would argue that you don't have to believe in anything. Some would say you absolutely do have to, and there has to be something. You've got to believe in something. What a great answer. Very, we could talk about that for hours, couldn't we? Very simple, not overly intellectual. Very simple answer, but very powerful. A bit like the expression that people often use, it is what it is. It is what it is, which it's quite a trendy expression at the moment, isn't it? And it can be quite irritating at times. But it is what it is. That's a pretty powerful bit of wisdom, isn't it? And a way of thinking about things and dealing with things. It is what it is. Again, we could talk about that for a long time. This is only a brief video. The other anecdote I had about belief or disbelief, believing in God or not believing, I have a very good childhood friend who lives in Israel, right in the thick of it in Israel, in the Middle East. Obviously, such a horrendous, profoundly complicated, never-ending cycle of nightmares, isn't it, in the Middle East? And my friend Hannah, who I grew up with in Bournemouth for a few years, she lives there. She's lived there a long time now in Israel, and she's obviously, really, really struggling, really suffering, really stressed, really anxious, really emotional about everything that's going on there, really confused and at times desperate as well, like a lot of people that live there, really going through bad times, really confusing situation, very complex, scary, obviously extremely violent, and volatile is the word I was looking for. I asked her if she was religious. I said, do you believe in God? And she said, no, she doesn't. But just to conclude, one quite sort of semi-humorous but very wry bit of dark humour here. She said at the end of a conversation we were having recently about the situation in the Middle East, about the war, she said, I don't believe in God, but if she would like to step in at some point, I'm willing to be proven wrong. And I'm not sure, it was very dry humour. I think it was intended as a dry, wry humour. But I liked that. Yeah, that really made me think. I don't believe in God, obviously, in going through this war in the Middle East. She's living right in the thick of it in Israel. She said, I don't believe in God, but if she would like to step in to the situation at some point, I'm willing to be proven wrong. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how humorous it was meant, but there is some humour there, although it's dark humour, isn't it? I don't know whether my friend Hannah intended to say she, he, she, does it matter? Well, let's not get into gender stuff. I don't know whether she intended to say she, but she did say she. You know, if she would like to step in at some point, I'm willing to be proven wrong about my disbelief in God. So yeah, a couple of short anecdotes there, outlooks from a believer and a non-believer. One 30 years ago and one recently. So yeah, do you believe in God? And second question, why do you believe? Why do you hold your religious beliefs?